And welcome to another episode of Brothers Arguing Sports. I'm Zav. There's TD, and yes, there is El Capitan Leva. So, baseball question. What's wrong with baseball? I mean, I looked at it. Last year's World Series ratings, all-time low. Look at this. The 2023 MLB World Series became the least watched on record, an average of 9.11 million viewers. The women's college basketball game the other night, Iowa versus LSU, had a 13.2 million. Baseball used to be America's pastime. TD, what's wrong with it?
I got two main reasons.
All right.
One, I think it's the fall from grace of the batting average as the crowning stat in baseball. And I think because batting average isn't as important, the whole game has suffered as a result of it. The art of baseball, what gets old people sitting in their couch and watching baseball is the art of it, the chess side of baseball, the situational hitting, the poking the ball the other way. The Also, when you're putting the ball in play a lot, defense is a premium
So
too.
small
You notice?
ball. Small
No,
ball.
well, just no.
Not football,
It's not.
baseball. Baseball, you
Yeah, not golf where it's just station to station, but also like because of it, we've lost the shortstop as a primary position. If you remember, like you had the Ozzie Smiths and the Vizquels, these guys that you watch just to play defense. But now defense isn't as important because batting average isn't important and the ball's not in play anymore. And we've lost that artistic
Those are
side to
good points.
baseball.
Those are good points.
That artistic side to baseball where it's situational hitting, how he pokes the low pitch just through the gap, and the art of stealing a bases. What's between the lines in baseball, I think, has gotten lost. And then the other one to me is just player loyalty is gone. There's no people are just hopping around. Like even Soto, we love him, but he was a National, then he was on a Padre, now he's a Yankee. You look at Ohtani,
Good
he was on
points.
one team, now he's a Dodger. It's kind of just like this sense of loyalty to your team is gone. And you tell me how many of these Yankees really know what it is to be a Yankee, or even like Verdugo, he's on the Red Sox, now he's on the Yankees. So I think it's just the loss of sense of team, which also loses the sense of rivalry, and just the style of game has gone away from the batting average.
Well, TD, I'm going to jump on your second point because to me, leading into that lack of loyalty, to me, is there's no stories in baseball. There's no, like, why did that women's game have such a
Yeah.
matchup? Because Caitlin Clark's a star,
Yeah.
and there was trash talking with her and Angela Reese. You think back in 03, 04, Yankees, Red Sox, those teams hated each other.
right.
There's no story right now. What's the story in baseball? That's what, to me, like why did politics all of a sudden become so interesting? Because Trump, he's the villain. Like there's a story. You
And
can't.
Zav, I agree too. Like even the 96 Yankees, there was a story. It was
Yeah.
the beaten down franchise, 10 years
Against
of purgatory. There was a story. It's true.
against
Yeah.
the Braves, the juggernaut of the Braves, who won the World Series the year prior, the baddest team on the planet.
Exactly. And look now, what's the story in today's
There's no
baseball?
story in baseball right now.
Like it's not the
Well,
teams aren't
got
as
this,
interesting.
got this. Your two biggest star, your two big names. You've got Ohtani, who's caught up in this whatever he's caught up in. So that's putting a damper on things. And you got Mike Trout, who's basically languishing in like baseball netherworld. You got your two biggest stars that one has a cloud over his head, and one most fans probably couldn't pick out of a lineup now.
Well, and that's my thing, Lee, but there's no star. I don't think like Trout, Ohtani is a star, but Trout, who's been the best player the last 10 years,
We look at box scores, and Trout's like an all-universe player.
but he's not a star.
Right. He plays for an atrocious Angels team.
You know what? There was a good story when the Royals won. They were like this beaten down team, but
that was
yeah,
years ago. I mean, come on.
No, but you look at this season in particular, there's just wow, the Dodgers. I mean, who cares about the Dodgers?
My biggest issue with the state of baseball today, it's simple. It's a garbage product.
Yeah, that's
it's a garbage product. But it's a garbage product. I mean, you've got a bunch of these like random no-name guys coming out of the bullpens throwing 100 miles an hour, and they're just striking everybody out. You got team batting averages of like 205.
Well, that's what gets me. And people are celebrated. They're like, the guy's
Right.
hitting 205, and they're like, oh, but his this is good and
But
his that is good.
it's like an actionless version of baseball now. There's no, it's not, doubles, keep runners moving, like you said, defense. The actual product of what's wrong with baseball is baseball. The game that's being pushed to the fans is trash. It's trash.
And baseball games are long. What keeps you sitting there for 3.5 hours is you need
Well, the
that
game's been
interest.
shorter since last year, and that was a good move to shorten the game.
I'm not saying the games are long as a criticism. I'm saying it's not like an NBA game where you watch it, it's just action all the time. The beauty in baseball is in what's between the lines, and that's kind of gone.
Yeah, the home run in many ways killed baseball, because now you're waiting for the home run, and it's boring.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, guys. Last point, Leva.
I said it's a shame because, I mean, you're looking at some of the finest athletes that baseball has ever seen, yet they seem to all be very specialized in their one aspect of the game. They're not like true baseball players anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, the 5-tool.
I'm going to bring up a favorite player. Brett Gardner can play all sides of the ball. He could run. He can hit. He can base run. He can play defense. The guy was a baseball player. Now you got guys that are great hitters but can't play defense. You got guys that can throw 100 miles an hour, but they can only do it for about an inning before they peter out. They can't throw strikes.
Exactly. And Gardy would take the 13, 14 pitch at bat. These are things. Yeah, you know what? That was the thing. I can completely agree. One of my things I was thinking was the lack of the 5-tool player. It's exactly what you're saying. The 5-tool player is gone from baseball.
At this point now, I take 3 tools. I think you can't even get that.
All right, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. And we'll be here again soon. All right, see you, Leva. See you, TD.
Take it easy, boys.
Pleasure.